Hey everybody, it's Angela, and I have a couple of scrapbook layouts that I wanted to share, and these are using mostly my supplies from this month's Cocoa Daisy kit, and I was kind of inspired after I saw all the products in that box and wanted to break into them. So I did this layout, and I know I used a small photo of this car ferry in a previous layout, but I wanted to do a whole layout dedicated to it just because it's one of the 3 historical ferries across the Willamette River that are still in operation today, and it was the first time I had been across this particular car ferry. I've been across the other 2, the Wheatland Ferry and the Canby Ferry. This was my first time across the Buena Vista, and we got there, it was kind of late, kind of dusk, and so I kind of went with the blues, and then in this picture you can see kind of a orange, like a life preserver ring, and so since orange is the complementary color of blue, I kind of used those 2 colors with a little bit of this mustard yellow color. And what I did was I used the basic gray kind of watercolor paper in the background, and then I used the border paper and tag paper from the My Mind's Eye Sweetest Thing collection, and that's what I used for layering on pretty much all of it. And so, and then the cardstock was also from the kit. So I think all the paper is all from this month's kit. And then I kind of broke out my eyelet setter and some eyelets, and I have this box of brads and eyelets that I got from Oriental Trading a long time ago, and let me tell you, this is the box that never ends. I keep using and using out of this, and there's still always more. So these are all the eyelets in the back, and then there's mini brads and regular brads. So it was fun to break out the eyelet setter, and I just kind of went around the outside to make a pocket, and this is my title, but it's also the brochure from the car ferry. So it had a lot more journaling and information than I would ever put on a layout, so I wanted to include it. And I loved this picture of the horse-powered car ferry when it first started up in 1906. So, or actually, it's been there since 1852, but this is a 1906 photo. So anyhow, I just kind of stapled part of a border strip on there, and then the eyelets kind of make a pocket for this to fit into, and then I left the title of the brochure be the title of my page. And I also used out of this month's kit this tag, this event record tag, and then some of these little tiny tagged accents are from the this little document. One up here is from this Shop Evilicious, which was a Cocoa Daisy exclusive from their November kit, and then these other orange accents are from the 9 to 5 tidbits, which I think I got at my LSS. So that was those, and then I also used the new roller date stamp that was in the kit, and it's the white Dear Lizzie stamp. And I used the fun day here, the happy day over here, and then I stamped the date up there. And then the last thing I used on there was just some orange striped washi that I placed in a couple different spots. And so that was my layout. It's pretty much all from the kit. Oh, and also the ink that I used was this new Old Road Quick Dry fluid chalk ink, and it works really good. It's really a smooth ink and stuff, so it worked really well, so I was pleased with that. And that is the layout. And since, you know, this was kind of in the blues, and today was really, it didn't snow last night, but the frost was like really thick, and so my husband's out of town, so I thought, well, it's the perfect day to stay indoors and be in the craft room. But I was kind of feeling a little blue after doing that layout with so much blue, so I did this layout and got the flowers out, so that made me feel a lot better. This one, I wanted to use this paper that came in the kit. This is My Mind's Eye Sweetest Thing, and I loved all the bees and the honeycomb and the bright yellows. And I had these photos of a sunflower that I took, and I just loved this sunflower. I saw it in a farmer's field, and it was just the healthiest, stockiest sunflower I'd ever seen. I mean, man, that thing was just stout. And I wish I could have gotten seed off of it, because that was one really nice plant. And I think it was just a volunteer out in a field somewhere. So, and it was just covered with bumblebees and stuff. So I just had a couple pictures of it. And besides the paper, I cut the manufacturer's strip off the bottom, and I used part of that here and part of that here. And on this one, I actually used the roller date stamp and the chalk ink again to stamp the date. And I used the alphas that came in this month's kit as well, just to do all a buzz. And then I stamped on some journal lines and did my journaling. And the flowers were just from my stash. They're these Prima flowers, and this is another box that just doesn't seem to end. Every time I take a few out, it like fluffs up and it seems to be full again. So, which is awesome. I'm not complaining. But I used those here, and some fabric covered brads from my stash, and I think that's and these little chipboard hexagons. I have 3 of them down here and 3 of them up here, and they were from a previous month's kit, I believe, and they're these pink paisley Nantucket chipboard pieces, and these are actually like seaside themed. You can see like the little seahorse, and there's an anchor and like a goldfish or something. But not all of them were themed that way, so I was able to use some of the mustardy colored ones and teal ones on this layout. I wanted to break into them because I hadn't used them yet, so it was cool to be able to kind of bring that honeycomb pattern and give a little more texture on the page. And so that is my other layout, and I really had fun doing these. And I know there's a couple challenges going on, so I'm going to go and try to do some things so I can enter those challenges. But when the inspiration struck me to do these two, I just kind of wanted to go with it. So anyhow, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, just leave me a comment below. Bye, guys.